Hi there. While you can close your eyes to reality, you can't do the same to memories. They keep coming back. Wherever you go, your memories from the place you grew up always remain special. My name is Kunle Osiyemi, and here is my good old days story. I am a full-blown Ijebu boy born in London but formed in Lagos. I first set foot on this blessed land, Nigeria, in the early 70s when my parents returned home after years of sojourn in London. Ironically, relocating home then was actually a step up in status and living conditions. Bigger apartment, better cars, domestic staff, and all the trappings of middle-class living at that time in Lagos. Our bigger apartment was actually a rented 3-bed flat located just off Isolo Road in the Mushin area. This is where my formative years were spent. As an Ajebutter, as Sheshede people were referred to by the local kids, I can say it took me few months to adjust and become one of those local kids. I was able to pick up the Yoruba language in record time and I became fluent in it. For my early education, I was enrolled in Imolade. Back then, it had 2 sites, one in Palm Avenue and the other in Alasia area of Oshodi. I vividly recall the Bolekaja bus that shuttled us between the 2 sites. The journey was always an experience. School was fun, and the best part was the trek home after school. There were about 12 of us, my siblings, our landlord's kids, and some neighbors' kids too. You can imagine us on the streets. I recall with great nostalgia the shenanigans we got up to. The KaloKalo shop, playing on the one-arm bandit slot machine with your 1 kobo, and stopping at the famed agbalumo tree to pluck the juiciest agbalumo, star fruit, when in season. A journey that should take minutes could sometimes take up to an hour. As many a guest have attested in this room, at such tender ages, there was no fear of apprehension from either us or our parents for our safety. I went on to complete my primary education at Twins Day and then on to Government College Ketu-Epe, a boarding school. I then proceeded to Baptist Academy Obanikoro, Lagos, when the Jakonde government abolished boarding house in Lagos State schools in the early 80s. I recall with glee my favorite breakfast, a hollowed out middle of the famed bread Onibeji, filled with either mom's beans or stew with shredded beef. Even now I'm just salivating thinking of this. Those were surely fun times. Looking back now as a young secondary school leaver, all our ambition was to gain admission into one of the top higher institutions. Nothing like leaving the country. Same as holidaying. For me, the highlight of the year was the trip to Ijebu, my hometown, for the Ileya festival. Those few days together with all my cousins and relatives were some of the best times of my life. The fun we had fighting rams, playing football, renting bikes, the morning hot akara with hot bread, simply divine. Without a doubt, these times helped build the strong bond we have as extended family members till this day. All thanks to our parents. From personal to national, I recall growing up in a Nigeria where pig milk was sold for 10 kobo and carnation was sold at 8 kobo. In Nigeria where visa was free to travel to England and other Western countries, where once a pound was 71 kobo. Where we had the largest airline in Africa and a fleet of over 30 ships. Where the flight ticket to London was at a time 150 naira or less. The same Nigeria where a new Peugeot 504 was less than 5,000 naira. Yes, the same Nigeria that had a car assembly plant. Actually 2, Peugeot and Volkswagen. That was the Nigeria I grew up in. I grew up in a Nigeria where Indian nationals came to apply for teaching jobs. Where Ghanaians and Liberians saw Nigeria as abroad. The same Nigeria where nobody cared about religious affiliations, where Christians and Muslims coexisted amicably. So how did we get where this blessed land is today? On a personal level, as parents, what values and morals are we passing on to our children? Let's take a minute to ponder. Can we truly conclude that we have fared well in passing the baton of our cultural identity over to our children? There is no doubt in my mind our upbringing, which was built on proper morals and respect, has stood us in good stead and taken us to where we are today. We can have a cultural rebirth and a sound ethical orientation that will give our youth a better version of a new day and a promising tomorrow that would outshine the good old days. We certainly can up the game and change the narrative by doubling our efforts. Collectively, we can make a difference, not just for the sake of coming generations, but our futures too. On a national level, our leaders must embrace self-sacrificial leadership and surrender personal benefit to encourage followers' empathy. We can look beyond what the past has told us we were and evolve a new consciousness aimed at making right what was and is wrong. We can recreate a new Nigeria where tribalism is not given precedence over patriotism, where love and care for other persons is the hallmark, like in the good old days, where ethnicity is not given priority over merit, a Nigeria that will be safe like in former times when everyone is secure and there was no need to worry about child safety as we witness today. Our collective challenge will now be to focus on how we can instead of talking about the good old days, by projecting into the future that is greater than our past. I therefore align with others and join my very good friend Sir Shemore Badejo in this collective drive towards a greater tomorrow. Thank you.